BFDI, to say the least, is at its peak again. And so are object shows in general. Creators these days, like Jack and Jellify, seem to be putting more effort into creating the best episodes of TPOT and BFDIA that we've seen yet. There have been a few hurdles along the way, but this competitiveness has pushed them to step up their game, and it's worked. Now, as you all may know, I am a BFB channel, more recently a BFDI finalist channel. Object shows. What even is considered an object show? As far as I'm concerned, there isn't any proper definition for the term, but the general consensus is an object show is basically an animated series with anthropomorphic objects, just with a twist, and it's not with the show's genre or style itself, but rather the community's role in shaping what happens in the show. Object shows are animated series performed by anthropomorphic objects. But what differentiates object shows from typical animations? The eliminations, of course. The community revolves around the idea that the characters are each separate entities, with their own personalities, friend groups, and even beliefs. And most, if not all the time, fans of the show want them to look and act perfectly, because apparently life is full of sunshine and rainbows. But I digress. As mentioned, object shows have been on a crazy streak lately, Battle for Dream Island included. It's always been relatively popular, hasn't it? BFDI and BFB. These shows have long been significant in the object show scene. However, the idea of object shows has expanded so widely that you can now find them far beyond just the BFDI fandom. Let's discuss it. The growth of the object show community was always bound to happen. It just needed a bit of a push. Clearly, this began with BFDI and inanimate insanity being the Adam and Eve of the object show genre. Although they share some similarities, there are distinctions between them. That's not my main point, however. There's always been an effort to expand the object show community. In BFDI's case, this comes in the form of new seasons and characters, which I'll get to in a bit. It demonstrated that object shows are not confined by platform or format. In the coming years, I'm sure this concept will become even more prominent. Before BFDI gained its widespread fame now, its market was heavily concentrated within its core fan base on YouTube. They've always been object shows' first and most popular show, which is why they are more favored over other shows. I know that fan-made object shows have always been a thing, but I'd say the biggest effort yet at the time was when Jack and Jellify introduced BFB, the fourth season, with a more expansive cast. This was when the pace started to pick up, and we could see a more global response to object shows as a whole, many new characters, along with returning favorites. Jack and Jellify has always been leading when it comes to creating object shows, but this series was the most influential of all. Seeing BFB's success demonstrated that a more diverse lineup could work, and sometimes could even be better. The fans have always loved BFDI, and seeing the introduction of new characters most likely helped them feel even more connected. And that goes with every new object show that debuted before then. It didn't happen immediately, but slowly the community became more open to the idea. This means that more people were interested in making their own shows, games, and episodes. Obviously, the next step was to have a fully non-BFDI object show. Do y'all remember Object Overload? We already had one of the first popular object shows with a different cast. It was a beloved project with its own unique charm, but it was still an attempt. This led to the community having to answer some questions. Is it only an object show if it follows BFDI's animation style? How can we push the object show genre? What limits are there? Sure, the product wasn't perfect, but it showed that interest was there, and eventually we were to arrive at our destination. But before we go there, let's talk about the inanimate insanity side of the story. Like BFDI, inanimate insanity has also strived to extend beyond its own style and community. Neither BFDI nor inanimate insanity are really safe from leaving seasons on pause for what feels like an eternity. I'm still waiting for Season 2, Episode 15. By this point, BFDI has grown into its own brand and bred its very own object show system. This is a big deal because what once was the inspiration became the inspired. People thought, if they can do it, we can too. Someone in the Jack and Jellify team clearly took the challenge seriously, because Battle for BFB could very well be the best attempt at expanding the object show genre. BFB while still heavily influenced by BFDI, is created by a dedicated team and isn't limited to just promoting within the BFDI fandom. No other show of its kind has exhibited the same level of confidence and ambition as they do. They are solid proof that this object show concept can thrive outside the original BFDI without being mediocre. But if you were to ask me, there was one object show that perfected the genre. This being The Power of Two, or TPOT, in 2021. This was a game changer. The animation quality remained impeccable, and the storylines seemed very intriguing. However, as the episodes progressed, viewers noticed a genuine decline in quality of writing. Things just made less sense, felt more rushed, and less of the teapot we had seen at the start. Not to mention the long waits between episodes. But the era of object shows, more specifically Battle for Dream Island, that we're living in right now, is by far at its peak. The start of BFDIA revolutionized what people thought was possible for an object show, with the writing of the show being so meticulously planned out. Not to mention Teapot's increase in quality as well, with recent episodes being loved everywhere. BFDIA 13, the latest episode released as of writing this script, has been one of the best episodes from BFDI that we've seen in a while. The object show community continues to grow, with new shows and creators emerging all the time. This genre has proven its ability to evolve and adapt, captivating audiences far beyond its original scope. It's clear that the future of object shows is bright. So, as we celebrate the success of these shows and look forward to new innovations, let's appreciate what we have in front of us right now. Because what we already have is pretty sweet. What do I think's going from here? I mean, best case scenario, we get more awesome episodes of BFDIA and Teapot, and once those two are over, we get IDFB, which seems like it's already been confirmed, but I have no idea. At some point, though, Season 6 will have to be discovered, and I have some ideas on what could be in that season. But that's a different video. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as my bonus channel linked below. My next video will be about Book and how she pulled a huge UNO reverse card in BFDI. I know I keep saying that every video, but Teapot has made me more interested in her, so I can confirm it'll be the next video. Again, thank you for watching. Maybe my next video will be about Pencil, or something completely different, who knows.